When chemical safety fails, the consequences are rarely small. Toxic releases, fires, and explosions don't stop at factory walls. They take lives, injure workers, destroy families, and leave surrounding communities dealing with health effects and environmental damage for decades. What makes these events especially troubling is that many of them were preventable, sometimes repeatedly predicted, long before disaster struck. Number 10. The Bhopal gas disaster, India, 1984. In December 1984, residents of Bhopal, India, awoke to a nightmare. A pesticide plant released a massive cloud of methyl isocyanate gas into nearby neighborhoods while most people were sleeping. The gas burned eyes and lungs instantly. Thousands died within days, and hundreds of thousands suffered lasting injuries. The disaster was not caused by a single failure, but by a pattern of neglect. Safety systems were disabled, staff were inadequately trained, and maintenance was repeatedly delayed to cut costs. There was no community warning system, no evacuation plan, and no coordination with local hospitals. This tragedy became a turning point for global chemical safety. It helped drive the creation of right to know legislation and influenced chemical labeling and worker information systems used today. The lesson is clear. Safety equipment that exists but does not function is as dangerous as having no protection at all. Number 9. Texas City ammonium nitrate explosion, USA, 1947. In April 1947, a fire aboard a docked cargo ship carrying ammonium nitrate fertilizer escalated into one of the deadliest industrial explosions in U.S. history. The blast killed hundreds, injured thousands, and destroyed large sections of the port city. Ammonium nitrate was widely viewed as a routine agricultural chemical, not a major explosive hazard. Poor hazard communication, lack of evacuation planning, and minimal understanding of the material's behavior under heat contributed to the scale of destruction. This disaster led to stricter controls on chemical transport and storage, as well as improved zoning regulations separating hazardous materials from residential areas. It remains a powerful reminder that common chemicals can become deadly under the wrong conditions. Number 8. West Fertilizer Plant Explosion, USA, 2013. More than 60 years later, ammonium nitrate again proved fatal. A fire at a fertilizer storage facility in West Texas ignited large quantities of improperly stored material. The resulting explosion flattened homes, damaged schools, and killed both workers and first responders. The facility lacked fire suppression systems, maintained poor chemical inventory records, and operated with limited regulatory oversight. Emergency responders were unaware of the true risk they were facing when they arrived on scene. This incident reinforced the importance of accurate chemical inventories, transparent reporting, and community awareness. Even small facilities can pose large risks if dangerous substances are mishandled. Number 7. Phillips Petroleum Explosion, USA, 1989. At a petrochemical facility in Texas, a routine maintenance operation turned catastrophic when flammable gas was released during equipment disconnection. The gas ignited, triggering a series of explosions that killed dozens and injured hundreds. Investigations revealed gaps in shutdown procedures, insufficient contractor training, and inadequate supervision during high-risk work. Emergency isolation systems were either missing or ineffective. The outcome reshaped industrial safety management, particularly around lockout procedures, contractor oversight, and process safety planning. Maintenance tasks, often seen as routine, are among the most dangerous operations when chemical energy is involved. Number 6. Changshui Chemical Plant Explosion, China, 2019. In March 2019, a massive explosion tore through the Jiangsu Tianjiai Chemical Company in Changshui, eastern China, after large quantities of illegally stored hazardous waste ignited. The blast was so powerful, it was detected by seismic monitoring stations and shattered windows several kilometers away. Fires burned for more than a day, damaging nearby factories, schools, and residential areas. Investigations later revealed that the company had repeatedly violated environmental and safety regulations, yet enforcement actions were delayed, overlooked, or weakly applied. Poor hazardous waste tracking systems meant that dangerous materials accumulated without proper containment or documentation. Aging infrastructure and outdated equipment further increased the risk, while emergency response planning was inadequate for an incident of this scale. Firefighters and rescue teams struggled due to confusion and limited hazard information. Globally, the Changshui disaster renewed scrutiny of chemical waste management and regulatory enforcement, highlighting that chemical responsibility extends far beyond production. Safe handling must include secure storage, lawful disposal, transparent reporting, and long-term environmental protection. Number 5. BP Texas City Refinery Explosion, USA, 2005. In March 2005, a deadly explosion occurred during a routine startup process at BP's Texas City Refinery. A hydrocarbon overflow released a large vapor cloud that ignited, killing 15 workers and injuring more than 180 others. Several critical warning systems, including level indicators and alarms, were malfunctioning at the time, preventing operators from recognizing the danger before it escalated. Previous safety audits had already identified serious risks, but corrective actions were delayed or ignored. Temporary trailers used by contractors were placed dangerously close to active processing units, significantly increasing the number of casualties. Cost-cutting decisions postponed safety upgrades, and insufficient training left workers unprepared to respond to abnormal operating conditions. The disaster resulted in record regulatory fines and accelerated the adoption of structured process safety management systems worldwide. It stands as a stark reminder that ignored warnings often become the blueprint for catastrophic failure. Number 4. Imperial Sugar Refinery Dust Explosion, USA, 2008. The Imperial Sugar Refinery explosion in 2008 revealed a hazard many workplaces had underestimated: combustible dust. Over time, fine sugar dust accumulated throughout the facility, settling under conveyors and inside enclosed spaces. When a small ignition source appeared, the dust ignited violently, triggering multiple explosions that caused structural collapse and trapped workers inside the plant. The facility lacked proper dust collection and ventilation systems, and housekeeping practices were inadequate to prevent buildup. Many workers were unaware that sugar, an everyday, non-toxic substance, could become explosive when finally dispersed in air. The tragedy forced industries worldwide to reconsider how they assess risk, emphasizing that danger is not defined by toxicity alone. Proper ventilation, regular cleaning, and education about combustible dust hazards are now recognized as essential elements of workplace safety. Number 3. Minamata mercury poisoning, Japan, 1932-1968. Over several decades, mercury-contaminated wastewater from a chemical plant entered a coastal ecosystem. The toxin accumulated in fish and shellfish, which were consumed by local residents. The result was widespread neurological disease, birth defects, and generational suffering. Corporate denial and delayed government action allowed exposure to continue long after health effects were known. The damage extended far beyond the workplace, affecting an entire community. This disaster reshaped environmental law worldwide and reinforced the ethical responsibility industries have towards surrounding populations and ecosystems. Number 2. Arco chemical explosion, USA, 1990. A chemical plant explosion caused by improper shutdown procedures released flammable gases that ignited and destroyed an entire city block. Gas detection systems were absent, and maintenance was performed without adequate depressurization. The incident emphasized the dangers of routine maintenance when chemical energy is present. Detection systems, ventilation, and strict adherence to shutdown protocols are critical safeguards. Number 1. Bright Sparklers Fireworks Factory Explosion, Malaysia, 1991. A fireworks manufacturing facility experienced multiple explosions after a small fire ignited poorly stored explosive chemicals. The blasts destroyed nearby homes and killed both workers and residents. Chemical segregation failures, poor facility design, and weak enforcement allowed hazardous materials to be stored too close together and too close to the public. This disaster reinforced the need for strict zoning, proper storage design, and public risk consideration when handling explosive materials. If this video helped you understand how these tragedies unfolded and how they can be prevented, support the channel, like and subscribe. It helps keep important conversations like this alive.